Hi guys! So we need to talk about brows. So brows are so important to like complete your face, okay? When you have like your brows not done, I just feel like everything's not done. Just for me. And brows are just so big right now. And there's so many ways you can do brows. It kind of is up to you. I try to keep mine, so mine are very thin, if you can see. I kind of keep mine within the natural shape of mine are. I don't try to make them super big, but I definitely want them defined. They are way too light and not existent right now. So there's many ways you can do brows or whatever. I personally do my brows before I do anything else. I do need to use a little primer, so I'm going to put a little primer on because I'm about to use our brow palette. Okay, this is our awesome brow palette. I'm going to show you what everything's for because I know it looks pretty intimidating. But these are the two colors for your brows, and they are powders. So they're going to stick and stay all day if you use the primer. So I'm really only going to use a tiny bit because I'm only going to put it on my brows. I'll do the, all of the rest of my face after I want to do that. But like, can you see like how minuscule it is? We don't need much. Just enough. Because it's so soft and silky. Just enough for the brows. And this is super important. Get it slightly under the brows too, but I just keep it before on my foundation or anything. For me, I don't like to do it on top of foundation. Everybody's different. I just don't like to do it on top, and I kind of like to use like a powder brush when I do it, my powder at the end, and just slightly lightly brush over them just to kind of make sure it all blends in perfect, okay? So now enough talking, right, Kayla? Let's actually go into it. So again, these are the two powders. I'm gonna use, where is it? Our Brow Artist brush. This is a nice, very tight, angled brush, okay? And I'm just going to do this one brow for you guys to see. I'm going to have to look in my little mirror on the side because I have a hard time trying to hold this because it does come with a mirror, which is awesome, but I have a hard time trying to hold it and do it at the same time. I just like to look in a mirror. So I'm going to use, this is number 2. This is what I'm going to use to define the brow. And I'm just going to use the angled side of the angled brush, and I'm just applying a little bit on there. I don't need too much. If you want more product, get more product. This one's the brunette, which is our medium of the palettes. And now I'm just going to define my bottom line. What you can do too, where's my brush? Where's my lash comb? You can use like a lash comb if you need to like brush your hairs over before or whatever, if you have like really crazy hairs that want to go out every different direction, you know? So let me just create a soft bottom line. Like you can see right there, kind of where the bottom is. I'm going to slightly bring up into my hairline. Now let's tap a little bit more product on. I'm not using much this whole time. And let's go down. Okay, so this is gonna take just a minute longer than it normally would because I want to kind of explain. So kind of the rule of thumb, but you can do where your brows are. The rule of thumb is to have the center, the beginning of your brow, like right where your eye is, like straight up, okay? And then the rule is you end like a straight line from your nose to your eye to the end of your brow. That's just rule of thumb. If yours are crazy different, then go with what your brows are. But if you have non-existent brows, that's kind of where you want to start, end, that type of thing. Let's just get a little more product on this end. And this brush is seriously just so tiny. It is just so perfect for this. This brow palette is just so pigmented that you really don't need much. So now I'm going to do the top line, okay? I'm going to kind of keep my arch where it is about here and define it more. Go wherever your natural arch is, or on this side of your eye. If you don't have a natural arch, is typically where you go, this side of your pupil and everything. But I'm not going to go all the way in to start. I'm going to start just about here. Start to come up, maybe not too much. And then start to get a little bit more product and start to come down. Because I created that arch. Got like a decent arch in my brow like that. Okay, so now I'm going to slightly bring some of this coloring down. I'm going to get a little bit more product in. Just kind of mimic these hairs. I don't know if you can see that I'm just mimicking those hairs. Now to finish filling in, I'm going to use this lighter one and just use a little bit of this lighter one. Kind of depending on the brow color you have, that's what one you should use. A little bit off right there. That's how much you should use. So I'm getting a little bit more product on it because it is lighter. I have a cat, so of course there's cat hair all on this. And then let's finish filling in the brow. And again, I'm just talking, so that's why this is taking me a little bit longer than it normally would. But you can kind of define wherever you want to define of your brows. If you just want to do a light definition, just do a light definition. Kind of however you want with the brows. So then you can just take like a brow brush again and kind of comb through. I'm combing through very lightly, but it'll kind of soften up any hard lines. I'm going to do a little bit more in the front than the rest of my hairs, because the front you kind of want most natural, so it doesn't look like it just starts out of nowhere. I don't know if you can see that. Just soften up anywhere I need to soften up. I'm just trying to like hold this out of the way so like I'm not covering my whole face as in front of the camera, and just soften it up. So seriously, makes such a difference. Then when you complete the face, it completes the whole face and the whole look too. But so for me, I don't feel like I need it, but there's this wax. So these again are 2 powders. There's this wax you can use if you have very stubborn hairs that want to go a different direction than you want to go. Use this wax, okay? And then you can kind of keep it in place. But the opposite side of this brush, that one side's angled, the other side is flat. That's what I'm going to use, and you don't have to, but this pink is a matte and this one's a shimmer. I'm going to use this matte one and get some on here, and this is just going to define the bottom of my brow. So start to get that line going, and that'll just define that whole area. Just obviously blend it out, but it just slightly highlights too. It's not as pink as it looks on there on the skin, I don't find. And what you can even do is on the outside here is do the same thing. If you need a more defined, you could do the whole brow if you want, but I don't personally like to do the whole brow. I like to do underneath and sometimes just this outside. And then what you can do with your finger or with this, but sometimes I just use my finger, get this shimmer if you want a little shimmer highlight. Get some on there. And you can put it alone or right on top of that. And I only suggest that underneath. But again, makeup, there's not really rules, so you can kind of do what you want. But I don't know, it's very hard to see sometimes in camera lighting. It's just got this little bit of shimmer. You can add a little bit more if you want a little bit more, but you don't need anything too crazy. It just gives you a little shimmer and highlight under there. So there we go. Seriously, brows make such a difference. They're very important to complete the look of your face, and I get questions about brows all the time, so I'm hoping I could answer some questions of like how to define your brows. Again, they'll go with whatever your brow and what you like. If you want them more thick, get them more thick. If you want them thinner, then barely define them. So kind of totally is up to you. I will talk to you guys later. Thanks so much for watching. Please comment below or anything with questions. Bye bye, guys.